Let's see. All right, we're going to give them a chance to get back. Here we go. Here comes Casey. Now, Casey, can you hear me?
Hi, I can hear you.
Perfect. Yeah, we worked it out. Good, good. So technology's great until it isn't, right?
I
So
work in IT, and that's
there you go.
understandable.
All right. So, like I was saying when we started, I'm Dr. Sonia McGowan. I'm the owner of Covenant Pediatric Wellness Center, and I am here with one of my favorite people in all the world. This is Cassey Kuester. She is mom to Clay. So, Casey, just tell us a little bit about you and your family and anything you want us to know about you.
Okay. So my husband and we've been married for 12 years. His name is Chad. We have four amazing kids. Corbin is 11, Camilla is 11 or 10, Claire is 6, and Clay is 3. And we are a very active family, from fishing, hunting. We usually don't have a night where we're all at home. So we're all very, very busy.
All right. So, we're here to kind of talk about your journey with Clay. So, you said Clay is 3, right?
Yes, just
Okay.
turned 3.
So, when did you notice that something didn't feel right about him? You're an experienced mom. You already had 3 kids, so you knew what to expect. So, what was it and when was it that you noticed?
So we were at a softball game, and he was just weaving in and out of people. And there's 100 and something people there, weaving in and out. I'm chasing him, and he's not looking at anybody. And I heard this over and over, but it didn't really click. People were like, "Oh, it's like he's in his own little world," and like, yeah. And then he's not talking to anybody. He's not looking at anybody. And I was kind of talking with another friend of mine at that game, and she says, "Well, let me put you in touch with a mom that has an autistic kid." And I was like, "Oh, no." Like, I'm like, so it kind of like hit me. And I reached out to that mom that night, and she was telling me about her kid. And I was like, oh my gosh, I went through this long list of symptoms or issues. And I'm like, he's checking all the boxes. And so I knew right then. I was like, yeah, he's on the autistic side. So that was at
Yeah,
18 months.
at 18 months.
18
And
months.
so nothing had ever come up with your pediatrician before that?
No. So just a little background on vaccines for me. I didn't get any vaccines when I was pregnant. I I was doing research, but it wasn't to the level that I am at now. So I never really wanted him to have any vaccines. I just didn't advocate hard enough, and that's something I wish I could take back, but I obviously can't at this point. But I, at his 15-month appointment, I was actually scared for that appointment for many reasons. I had been researching some of the vaccines. I went along with it. And I remember saying at that appointment, I mean, he probably says 15 or 40 plus words because he repeats everything.
Yeah.
Like, just, he's meeting all the milestones, he's exceeding milestones, very smart. And so, knowing at that 18-month when I was like, oh my gosh, I realized all of this, he wasn't talking at all. So then I went back to the 15-month and I started researching regressive autism. And I knew that's the path that we were on.
Well, and I can just see it in your face when you talk about it, just how heavy that feels for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really tough, for many reasons, and not just for me, but definitely for him and for the family.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. A lot of challenges.
Yeah. So, how easy or difficult was it to pursue a diagnosis for him, and how long did it take?
Okay. So, at 18 months, like, my mind was racing. So, I reached out to First Steps. They're like a government agency. They help kids with getting services. I also started with a holistic doctor, and I started seeing him weekly. At that time, I think I called the Thompson Center, and I called one other big place that was recommended to me. They told me there was a wait list of 2 years. And I'm like, that is insane. And that tells you a lot of things. So I did get on the wait list at Thompson Center. Um, and I was told that there was a place at the lake. There was one doctor at the lake. She may have an opening sooner than that. So I did reach out to them at Lake Regional, and they had a couple month wait. So that was much better. I scheduled that appointment, but through going with the holistic medicine that we were on, I was seeing a little bit of progression. He was healing a little bit. And so I really struggled with him having an autism label. I didn't want that at all. And so I canceled that appointment because I'm like, I'm just going to work on healing and maybe we won't ever get that label. Well, I went back and forth and I talked to a lot of people and they're like, he's not going to be treated any differently. It will help him get services, along the way. So then I rescheduled that appointment. So we had his diagnosis in June. So this is about 9 months into when I first started at 1.5 years noticing issues. 9 months later is when we actually got the diagnosis.
Wow. And how has that actual diagnosis, that word, affected you and your husband in terms of, grieving, basically?
Yeah, it's definitely a grief journey. As far as getting the diagnosis, we kind of knew it from the very beginning. So it's nothing that surprised us by any means, but it's not easy to live with. I call it a label, and I'm not trying to be insensitive to anybody. But it is hard to live with having an autism diagnosis. And it's hard for me to take that. So I took it really hard. My husband, he has to be the level-headed one and say, it's going to be okay. We're going to get through this.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Wow. So in terms of, you feel really strongly that what triggered Clay's autism was a vaccine reaction.
100%.
Yeah.
So when we First Steps came to our house and they did the, I don't know if it's the MCHAT. It's one of those, all the paperwork that you fill out when you're actually getting a diagnosis too. So the same paperwork. And so they went through that and he was testing. So this is 18 months old. So 1.5 years. He was testing at a 6-month-old and all of these things. So I knew he went from a 15-month-old meeting all milestones to a 6-month-old within a couple months. And then I came to you guys and we ran the test and it just solidified that those vaccines caused those issues. Because if you would see the levels in his body of everything from head to toe, if he had those levels at his 15-month appointment when he was meeting all those milestones, he wouldn't be talking. He wouldn't be looking at people. So something happened that was a major, I think Jamie said, like a truck hitting you. He has to make major trigger that just completely depleted his body.
So you mentioned the testing that we did. Talk a little bit about that for the folks who are watching who may be curious about that.
Yeah. So we met with you guys. We did a consultation, went through all of Clay's, talking about Clay and his journey on where he's been so far. And so you recommended we get a urinalysis and a blood test. And we ran those tests and there's some add-ons, I think. And I wanted to see, are heavy metals a big issue too? And then you have a long checklist that you run anyway. And so we added on a lot of things because I just wanted to see. So we ran those, they came back and it was just astounding. Like everything from his cells. So mitochondrial dysfunction, oxidative stress, immune deficiencies, gut issues, just from head to toe. He was like, you told me it was kind of like a walking skeleton or a car without oil or gas. You can't run anything if you don't have that. So we were doing speech therapy and occupational therapy, and that was great, and they were wonderful. But we noticed the biggest difference after we started supplements, after those tests that we ran with you guys. So you put us on supplements to heal a lot of those things. And that's a process, right? So we are still on those supplements. We retest and adjust as needed. But the biggest progress I've seen was after those supplements, his speech is picking up and a lot of other things are picking up.
Yeah. I definitely, when he's here, I can see so much more social connectedness. Like he knows where he is, he knows who we are, like he's
Mhm.
engaged and he's oriented, like he knows what he likes to do when he comes here, like, yeah, in a way that he didn't at first.
Exactly. Yeah. So he didn't look at anybody. Nobody was in the room. I remember people coming to my house, and we had, she may be on here, Rita may be on here, but parents as teachers come and sit right in front of him. And he was sitting in a chair, and she's like trying to talk to him. She's like, hello, like right in his face. And he's like, she wasn't there to him. And that's how he was with everybody. He did not look at anybody. And now people are at our house, and it could be like new adults. It's more adults right now than it's adults and family and people that he knows. So like my kids, he's more social with them. He's still not so much with the smaller kids. We're hoping to get there, but even like adults or people that he doesn't really know very much, he will actually go up to them and like he may want them to hold him or, but he's at least making that eye contact. It has improved tremendously.
So I know that you're a go-getter, you're a doer, you're a researcher. So
Yeah.
how do you navigate and sort of sift through all the overwhelming information there is about autism and complex kids and what's out there in terms of interventions? Like how do you get it all? How do you read it all? How do you make sense of it? And then how do you prioritize it?
Yeah. So I've learned a lot through this process, but I would say the biggest help through this is reaching out to moms with kids with autism and the ones that have been treating their kids. So there's several that I know that are just local moms, and I am like, what did you do, and where can I start looking?
Yeah.
And I've only been on this journey for a year and a half, a little over a year and a half, but they've been doing it for years. What has worked for you? And so actually 2 of the local moms told me right away, go see Covenant, go see what is going on the inside of his body. And that has been a game changer, honestly.
Yeah. Well, and one of our sort of mantras around here is that the why matters. And, you know, I've never seen a bad kid and I've never seen purposeless behavior, right? Almost, well, in every case I've ever seen, there's always been sort of this underlying physical, biochemical reason promoting behavior. And so, therapies are absolutely critical, but they work better when the child is healthy, right? And so
Yes.
that's definitely what we're seeing with Clay. As his health improves, he progresses more.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
So what else besides our complex kid program, what else are you doing for Clay?
Okay, so I can go through a long list of things that we've done. So when we first noticed at 18 months is when we joined First Steps in the holistic doctor, from what I said earlier. Then we went to you guys as about 9 months into that journey. So when we met with you guys, we ran the tests, we were put on supplements, which we are still doing. And we started chiropractic care weekly, craniosacral therapy, that was by 2 times a month. So those 2 together work well. And then, let's see, I think I have a couple notes on there, but we've done so much. I took away food dyes and I've cleaned up all of our household items. I didn't want any toxins in the house. And we started with you guys in May, cranial sacral chiropractic. And then in August, I'm still doing it. It's X39 Life Wave patches. And really what it is it uses your body's light to help regenerate cells. So nothing's going into your body. It's just using your body's light. So we've been using that on his back. We still do that daily.
Okay.
And then in October, so this is about 2 months after that, we started to detox. So this is about 6 months into our journey with Covenant that we started detoxing. And this is something that I had been researching and I've been waiting for. And you explained it to me that you have to detox at the right time. You can't detox until the detox pathways are, I guess, healed or I guess not blocked, I guess. Otherwise, it can make more issues, right? So you gave us the go-ahead about 6 months in. Hey, his detox pathways are looking better. I think we can start detoxing. So we've done that in 2 ways. So you have the ion cleanse here at Covenant. So that's your foot baths. And we were doing that weekly. And now we do that twice a month. So it pulls out toxins in the feet. And then we started an oral daily detox too. And so that's for heavy metals and parasites. And we started that at the same time. And he's been passing parasites and stuff for many months. I think I've sent you some crazy pictures of stuff he is passing. It's not pretty. It's pretty crazy. So I feel like that has been very helpful as well. And I recently started red light therapy. I bought a machine to have at home. And so we just put it by his head on his bed at night for about 10 minutes. There's a lot of research about all the issues that I told you that Clay had. It touches most of those things and cognitive as well. So we're also doing the red light therapy. We have a special learning center that we started when he turned 3. So we stopped with first steps. They stop when they're 3 years old. Then you have to go into the school system. So now he's at the special learning center. So he's getting all the therapies there. And then we did try HBOT here at Covenant, hyperbaric oxygen chamber. And I know that has worked well for many. It's worked well for Jamie and Bo. We only tried it one time and he didn't do well with it at this point. Kind of hurt his ears. So I'm hoping that's something that we can do when he maybe gets a little older. Because I know there's a lot of benefits in that as well. So very long-winded. We've done a ton in a year and a half. So people probably think I'm crazy, but I'm like, I am going to go all in and do as much as I can. And I always try to run things by you as well. Like, is this the right time to add this in? What do you think about this product? Because I want to make sure I'm doing it correctly and I'm not introducing something that's going to hurt something else or throw something off.
So when you say, people probably think I'm crazy, what kind of response do you get when you are vocal about his injury? Do people treat you differently? Do they act like you're crazy? Are they on your team? Like, what's that experience like?
I would say all of that. I would say for the most part, I have gotten so much support. It's, there's been a whole lot of Me Too's. And that's what really has opened my eyes. Like, oh my gosh, I'm not alone. And all these people, like I've gotten all these people messaging me like, me too, or like my kid went through this and now I know it's a vaccine injury. I mean, so many. So on that side, I've had so much support, and then I'll get the onesie twosies that they just don't say much or that have really kind of gone against what I am saying. And I'm fine. Like, I will go with the support that I get and shoot forward because I know it's my kid and I know what happened. And I know there's millions of others out there that are telling the same story. And it's okay if you don't want to listen, but I'm going to keep telling it anyway. It's put a fight in me that I never thought I could have, but I will 100% live by what I'm saying. I'm fighting for.
Girl, I'm with you. I absolutely, when it's your own lived experience, and that what
Right.
you've seen, and yeah, I'm 100% with you, and I'm so proud of you for speaking up and speaking your truth no matter what other people say, because it's hard to feed your kid differently. It's hard to parent your kid differently, right? It's hard to stand up against, all of the outcries of, "Oh, vaccines don't cause autism." Okay.
Mhm.
Come to my clinic and we'll talk about it, right?
Right.
So, it's hard enough to, you know, be have to become a mom warrior when you've already got a kid with complex needs to take care of.
Hmm.
It's like this double whammy that you didn't ever expect, but you have no choice. Like nobody's gonna fight for your kid the way you will.
Right.
Yeah.
And it makes you want to fight for others too, because you don't want any other mom, any other parent or kid to have to go through this and go through this life. So, if I can wake up one person like that, that is a lot for me.
Yeah.
Like, if I can help one, I'm great. But I
Yeah.
feel like there's been a lot of people that have reached out to me, and I'm just very grateful that they have.
So, if you could say which resources have been the most helpful for you, in terms of, what's in our community, what would you say the answer to that would be?
Probably two things: the parents of the autistic kids that are fighting, um, and then reaching out to Covenant. Those have been my two. Yeah, it's because you help us with the path that we um, need to go on, and your resources are incredible here and endless, and your doctors here, from the pediatrician to the chiropractic, craniosacral, the front desk. I mean, you all have been extremely helpful. Any questions we have, I paid. So just truly grateful for you guys, and also the moms that are Jamie, Brittany, and many of the other ones out there that have helped.
Well, we love your family and we're so happy that we were here to, you know, be of support for you. How has it been in terms of the school district getting what not Bo, Jamie's on my mind, what Clay needs in terms of services?
They have been great. So we have not run into any issues at all educationally. So, like I said, we started with First Steps until he was 3, and they were amazing. Worked with us on setting goals and progress. They would come to our house and do the services. Um, so then switching, when he's at 3 and we're in the school system, if our school doesn't provide the services, then they have to help us find services. So that's where we didn't have it in school, so we go to special learning center, and our school was amazing through the whole process, helping us setting goals, being the middleman between us and special learning center, and guiding us along the way. So I'm truly grateful for them. We haven't run into any issues at all.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And let's cross our fingers
Yeah.
it stays that way, right?
Yes.
Um, so if you were to meet a mom and dad who are brand new to this diagnosis and this whole journey, what advice would you give?
Kind of just what I've mentioned a couple times, and I've actually talked to a few. So I will say, please reach out to Covenant first. So just go talk to Dr. Sonia and have that consultation. Let's, maybe find out what's going on inside that kid's body, but also reach out to the parents. I mean, because they've gone through the trenches, they know answers to many of your questions, and that is exactly where I found a lot of my answers. And that'll lead you to other things, right? So reach out or join this group here. It may be a Facebook group or some kind of a support group. But I think reaching out to Covenant and reaching out to those parents will get you on the right path starting out. I know it's very overwhelming at first. I mean, it is a grieving journey. So I think the best help is reaching through those parents and Covenant.
And so have you had any people talk about this measles outbreak, and what are you going to do if the measles come to town? Like, do you have any qualms at all about that?
I'm not worried about it at all. I've I've seen some stories on this. There are ways that you can.
Are you still with us, Cassey?
Treat those symptoms.
Oh, so it looks like we lost our connection with Cassey. I'm going to watch for her to reconnect with us. So, in the meantime, until she reconnects with us, a couple of things. We've talked about the Ion Cleanse foot baths. So, we have those available here at Covenant. And there she's back. Okay. So, we pretty much didn't hear any of your response about measles.
Okay. I was just saying, I'm not worried about it. I think with a lot of diseases, there's a lot of fear mongering. I think there's ways that you can prevent and more natural ways that you can treat as well. And there's just been a lot of research, a lot of those on the measles side. If you can let it run its course, maybe I think it's the vitamin A that has helped, but they're not being told that on the conventional side. So I'm just saying, do your research. Don't be fear mongered, because this is with any other disease. I think there's a reason behind fear mongering, and I think a lot of it is for the vaccine pushes. So I will not be fear mongered by any disease, because what I know now through my research is that there's more vaccine injuries than there are from the actual disease. There's probably people on here that don't agree with that, but I will stand by that, and I will provide research if you need any.
Yeah. All Cassey has to do is say, "Hang on 1 minute," and she'll come
Yeah,
back with
pull it from my
all
back
the
pocket.
That's right. All right. So, let's think about the future for Clay. What kinds of goals do you have for him? Like, where are you hoping that things are gonna go for him?
Yeah. So ultimately, I know it's up to God. But I know the path that he was on prior to vaccines, and I know what has been stripped from him, and I will try tirelessly to give him every resource, every avenue available to help heal him. So, I mean, I want him to have his independence, and I want him to be able to communicate, because right now, even though it's improved and it's improving, it's very frustrating for him and for our family. And that turns into behavior issues because he can't tell us. Instead, he's going to bite us, instead of saying no. So I just like the most normal life that he can possibly live. But I'm going to do everything to try to reverse and make him as healthy as possible in every way.
Well, my what I would love is for him to march into kindergarten, with as few supports as possible. Um, and I think, you're right. Given where he was at 15 months, we know that the potential for him is there, and
Right.
we just have to keep uncovering the biochemistry that's getting in his way. You know, figure it out, fix it, so that his brain and body can be healthy.
Yes.
So, all right. What else do you have to share with us? What else would you like
Uh,
to tell our
just
audience?
some things on like his progress. So he is starting to talk again. Um, And he's always been obsessed with like numbers, letters. I mean, he'll put out all of his letters and he'll say them all. He puts out his numbers 1 through 26 because there's 26 letters. So he'll also line up. So it's like crazy what's in his head. And I'm like, so there's so much in there. If he could just get it out. And he's starting to like here and there say it. He won't usually do anything on demand. Like, can you count for me? It'll be like, oh my gosh, look, listen to him. He's saying his alphabet or he's saying his numbers. And so he's got so much in his head. But, you know, there's little things like he has letters and he has put his letters together and he spelt Monday. And then he spelled Tuesday over here with his letters. And we were just like, oh my gosh, this kid is spelling. I mean, and he won't put words together very often, but he will sing a song. So, you know, so the music is his thing too. So it's a whole lot of progress. I know we have a ways to go, but I have so much hope that, you know, it's going to come out. He's going to keep improving on this path.
Yeah.
So very excited. So I do want people to have hope and realize that even though they won't tell you, or even though they may say it's genetic, we know different because of what we see, what you've seen in the clinic, what I've seen on his test. There's a lot of it's medical. So if you can go into with that mindset, like then you can really start opening up more avenues to getting that help, reaching out to Covenant and seeing what is going on inside my kid's body. And let's try to heal the root causes. And that's the main thing with, you know, functional medicine now has been a godsend, really. Like it's really opened my eyes in the biomedical on let's not just put a Band-Aid on it and give you medicine for your ADHD that could just cause other issues, right? It's got all these other side effects. Let's find out what's going on and let's treat those root causes. And I think it's really exploding, like the biomedical and functional medicine these days. And I'm so excited for things to start moving in that direction.
So when a parent goes to their pediatrician with some nuggets of this information, like, hey, I've heard the gluten-free or casein-free can be good, or, oh, I hear dye-free might be good, or maybe we can try, you know, some B12 or B6, and that pediatrician poo-poos that parent. What would you say if you were told that by your pediatrician?
Well, we kind of had that conversation actually. I mean, not so much on those specific things, but on vaccines. And I was not treated very nicely. And I said, I have the research. Can I show you? And they didn't want to hear it. And they wanted to say, and I was seeing the holistic doctor at the time as well. And he just was like questioning me on this holistic doctor. And I'm like, everything he's doing is natural. Like, why are you so upset that he is doing natural means? And that, I think that goes along with, you know, no food dyes that are extremely toxic and poisonous and all the toxins in our house. And all of a sudden it seems like it's like you're crazy for thinking that way. No, we're not. Like it's very frustrating. And so that his 2-year appointment is when we had that kind of falling out. I went into it knowing that I wasn't getting that 2-year vaccine. And, you know, he said, well, you can get it. It's not going to cause, or it's not going to hurt him anymore. I'm like, it has toxins in it. I can't believe that you're trying to push a vaccine when I am telling you that vaccine has caused his issues. So that's kind of where we left it. I walked out of that office that day and I have never gone back. And that was the best decision I could have made for him. And I will never go back. So now I see the pediatrician here at Covenant. It's just very frustrating. I just talked to somebody the other day and they said that the kid was vaccine injured. The doctor had acknowledged it and said it was vaccine injury, and they still wanted to push more vaccines. And I'm just like, what? It blows my mind. It is insane. Like, it really breaks my heart because I know that there's so many getting injured and they're just not, I don't want to say not awake, but they trust their doctors, right?
Yeah.
Like that's what they're supposed to
Yeah.
do. But I just do your own research, and be the best advocate for your kid, because it's not the doctor's kid, it's not the school's kid, it's not the government's kid. It is your kid, and you know best. So I will die on the hill. Please do the research.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you that, we're just so honored that you trust us with your family, and I'm so happy you found your way to us. Whoever told you about us, I'm so grateful that they did, because we just love being part of helping to guide you into recovery for Clay. So you're a rock star. You've got quite a following on Facebook. And I respect the research you do and how articulate you are about what what you've seen and what you've learned in research. So you are definitely top of the warrior mom list.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
all right. Does
I do have,
anybody have any
sorry,
questions they want to drop? Go ahead and do that while we finish up our conversation.
so I just wanted to give you a quote, and for the parents out there, Jamie Philly actually sent this to me. And there's two things. I don't know if you watch Survivor or if
I never
anybody
have.
watches Survivor. But the clip on Eva, she's autistic, and I think I sent some
You
clips on
did.
that. But somebody sent that to me, and I cried every time I watched it. But it's really every parent, like whether you have an autistic kid or not, it just provides a lot of hope. But this quote that Jamie sent to me, I want to read it. People speak of hope as if it is this delicate, ephemeral thing made of whispers and spider webs. It's not. Hope has dirt on her face, blood on her knuckles, the grit of the cobblestones in her hair, and just spat out a tooth as she rises for another go. Um, so that really hit me, because I feel like it's such a journey, and it's so hard. But you just got to keep chucking forward and keep pushing.
You will never be sorry.
Yeah.
So, Brittany Stamp says, "Can you share where to research because Google isn't a good
Oh
place?"
gosh.
Yeah, where are some
Um,
of your favorite sites?
yeah. So, gosh, I have so much saved. It's crazy. So there's a lot of books out there, like Dissolving Illusions. I have a couple books too. There's a group on Facebook too that is very helpful. It's Living Vaccine Free, and they provide a lot of resources.
And you said the Living Vaccine Free is on Facebook?
Yes.
Okay.
Um,
I entered Taka as a good research, place to research in the comments.
yes. And if anybody wants to reach out to me, I have so many links on different research too. But a lot of the research too, I would go to the CDC website and just find it myself. Like, it's out there. They don't want to give it to you up front, but you can do that. Like, what are the numbers before the vaccine and after the vaccine? And you can actually do some of your, like, if you want a true government resource, that's one place you can go. There's so many research papers. Like
I also have this book that just came out. It's called
Yes.
Facts. It's by Dr. Paul Thomas. So we have that here. In fact, I got to fangirl a little bit because Dr. Paul signed it for me when I saw him at a conference. But this is a really good book. It's what to consider before vaccinating at all ages and stages of life. So this is a very good book. Anything by Suzanne Humphreys is good. Yeah, there's a lot of information out there. You just have to kind of sift through it.
Right. I have probably 50 notes here on different things. So you can reach out to me. Dr. Thomas, he is an amazing one, the one that wrote that Facts. I mean, he did studies, and he showed that the people that had the more vaccines versus the ones that didn't, higher rates of everything from allergies to autism, ADHD,
Yeah.
So an independent study, and there are several independent studies that have shown the same thing. They like to demonize them, but if you read those books and look at their research, it's undeniable.
Yeah. And so, Brittany, keep looking up into the comments. We've got lots of things like the Vaxxed documentaries. Shot in the Dark is also a good book. So there are lots of really good things out there. Most of it's available on Amazon or your local library. So lots of good information. So okay, thank you. This was amazing. Thank you for speaking your truth and sharing your story about Clay. And I just, I love that I get to have a front row seat to watching him recover. So,
Yes, we are very excited for his journey. Thank you for being a huge part of it.
absolutely. All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.